What caused the Velvet Revolution's swift end? Imagine a country where the government suddenly loses its grip overnight. That's what happened in Czechoslovakia during the Velvet Revolution. It all started with a student protest in Prague on November 17, 1989. When police used force against students, it sparked outrage across the nation. News spread fast, and soon workers, artists, and everyday people joined the protests. The movement grew so quickly that the government couldn't keep control. The Communist Party had ruled since after World War II, mainly by silencing opposition and controlling media. They kept power with the help of security forces and a loyal party elite. But by the late 1980s, things started to fall apart. The economy was stagnating, and people were unhappy with the lack of freedom and prosperity. This was a common problem across the Eastern Bloc, where Soviet-style governments struggled to meet the needs of their citizens. One big reason for the quick end was the changing stance of the Soviet Union. Under Mikhail Gorbachev, the Soviet leader, the USSR made it clear it would not send troops to support communist governments in Eastern Europe anymore. This was a huge shift from the past, like in 1968 when Soviet tanks crushed the Prague Spring. Without Soviet backing, the Czechoslovak government was more vulnerable. Inside the country, the Communist Party was divided. Reform-minded members saw the need for change, while hardliners wanted to stay the same. When the party decided to give up its claim to be the sole leader and started talking with protesters, it was a turning point. By the end of December 1989, the party leaders resigned, and Václav Havel, a well-known dissident playwright, was elected president. Soon after, free elections took place, and the country moved toward democracy. The speed of the revolution showed how quickly public opinion can turn when people are fed up. The combination of economic trouble, the loss of Soviet support, and the strength of civil society, groups like students, workers, and artists, made it impossible for the government to hold on. The revolution proved that when people unite and demand change, even long-standing regimes can fall fast. From the communist point of view, the end might look like a failure of discipline and loyalty. They could see it as the betrayal of their allies and the influence of bourgeois ideas spreading among the population. But the facts show that the real reason was mass mobilization, peaceful protests, and the Soviet Union stepping back. This pattern was happening across Eastern Europe, where many communist governments collapsed quickly as the Cold War was ending. In the end, the Velvet Revolution ended swiftly because the Communist Party lost control of the streets and its own institutions. The opposition was strong and united, and the Soviet Union was no longer willing to support the regime. This event marked the final chapter of communist rule in Czechoslovakia and played a big role in the broader breakup of the Eastern Bloc.